Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network. First, a quick word from our sponsor. The Sunday Book Review for August 7, 2022, the Dunkirk Contrarian edition. In this episode, we take a look at books which are contrary or take a different view of the story of Dunkirk. We start with Blitzkrieg in their own words, edited by Heinz Guderian. This tells the story of Wehrmacht soldiers who were in the first advance towards Dunkirk and the elation they felt for what they thought were winning battles that their fathers could not do in World War I. Next up is Panzer Commander by Hans von Luck. This is a story of a Panzer commander with a turret view, high view of virtually every battle. It ranges from life in pre-war Germany all the way through his capture and life in a Soviet prison camp. There were stories of Rommel's unorthodox tactics and indeed Guderian's admonition that your job is to break through and keep going. Next up, The Flames of Calais. This is a story of the defense of Calais by the French soldier and author Airey Neave. It is a frank account of the choices made on both sides to defend the Channel port when there was really no chance of escaping. The Calais garrison, ground down by fatigue after days of savage street fighting, was put in an untenable position. Next up, Weekend at Zuydcoote. This is a French view of the battle, and it's in the form of a novel by a French officer, and it talks about the atmosphere of Dunkirk, overlooked by smart villas with offshore transport ships, Stuka dive bombers, and images of British soldiers standing with their hands in their pockets, waiting to line up to be in ships to be evacuated. And the final book comes called Dunkirk by Nicholas Hairman, and he questions the Churchillian rhetoric about the miracle of Dunkirk and says that it really was a loss, and questions the English fleet of small boats that are part of the narrative of Dunkirk. And he believes that almost 3/4 of the troops were saved by a regular British Navy. He also talks about the unsparingly difficult conditions the British soldiers faced. And really that part of the book is much more heroic, but questions the overall strategy employed by Churchill. And even though it saved a large part of the army, a large part was sacrificed as well. So check out one of these books. The Compliance Podcast Network was recently honored with some communicator awards for podcasts I know you will want to check out. Are you interested in Lyme disease? Well, check out Understanding Lyme Disease. And check out the Hill Country Podcast, where I look at the people, places, and things of the Texas Hill Country. Also, we have a new podcast series on the Compliance Podcast Network, which I know you will enjoy, The Corruption Files, where together with Hughes Hubbard partner Mike DeBernardis, we take a look at some of the most significant FCPA and international anti-corruption enforcement actions over the past 15 years. It's a great review and helps you understand how we got to where we are today in ABC compliance. And we actually have one more, which is Taxman on the intersection of tax and compliance, where with my tax colleague extraordinaire Tracy Howell, we look at 5 different issues that every compliance officer needs to be aware of regarding corporate tax. It's a fascinating series that's on a topic not often explored.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.